Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Today I am again with you with a new topic related to current electricity, that is relation between J and sigma. J and sigma. As we have derived a relation between drift velocity and current, and we have found that I is equal to ANEVD, where A is the cross sectional area of the wire and the number density is charge on an electron, and VD is the drift velocity. We also know that this Vd is equal to E by m into tau. This we have also derived, and from this we can get I is equal to An E into Ev by m into tau. Then we substitute for drift velocity Vd. It means I upon E is equal to n E square E tau by m. It means J is equal to 1 upon rho into E. Since rho is equal to m by n E square tau. This we have also derived. This implies J is proportional to E, or J is equal to sigma E, where sigma is equal to 1 upon rho. So this is also a microscopic form of Ohm's law. In Ohm's law we have V is equal to IR, and in here we have J is equal to sigma E, where sigma is a constant and it is equal to 1 upon rho. It is also known as conductance. It is also known as conductance. Conductivity. It is also known as conductivity. Since rho is known as resistivity, inverse of resistivity is known as conductivity. Now today we will discuss temperature dependence of resistance. What happens to the resistance of a conductor of a metal or an insulator or a semiconductor if we vary the temperature? Which means we have to discuss variation of resistance with temperature. If we increase the temperature, what happens to the resistance? If we decrease the temperature, what happens to the resistance? Does it remain same or does it also change? We will discuss it. Now we know that R is equal to minus ml by E square A into 1 upon n tau, or R is equal to KL upon n tau, while K is equal to minus ml upon E square, A is equal to constant. So R is proportional to 1 upon n tau. Here it is a correction, it is not L, it is K 1 upon n tau, while K is equal to this minus m L upon E square E. M is the mass of an electron, L is the length of the conductor, E is the charge of an electron, and A is the cross section area of the conductor. So these are all constants. It means R is proportional to 1 upon n tau. This implies that the resistance R depends upon the two factors, that is number density N and the relaxation time tau. It is inversely proportional to number density N and inversely proportional to relaxation time tau of the free electrons. Number density means, as I have told you, the number of electrons per cubic meter of a conductor, and we know that it is average is equal to average number density is equal to 10 raised to power 29. Then there is tau. Tau is a relaxation time, means the time between two successive collisions is relaxation time, and we also know that this is also of the order of 10 raised to minus 14 second relaxation time, average relaxation time. So the number density N will not change with temperature. If we increase the temperature, suppose there are 10 raised to 29 electrons in a conductor. If we increase the temperature, the number of atoms, if there are number of atoms per cubic meter of a conductor is 10 raised to 29. If we increase the temperature, the number will remain same. It will not become 10 raised to 30. It will be 10 raised to 29. So number density will not change if we change the temperature. If we increase the temperature, number density will remain same. If we decrease the temperature, number density will remain same. Since the thermal speed of electrons increases with increase in temperature, if we increase the temperature, the speed of thermal speed of electrons will increase. Therefore, the collisions of the free electrons with the ions of the conductor become more frequent, resulting in the decrease in the relaxation time. What does it mean? When the velocity increases, the distance between two successive ions will be covered in less time. Suppose if there is ion A, the distance between ion A and ion B is 2 meters. If the speed of the electrons is increased, this distance will be covered in less time. That time is the relaxation time. So relaxation time will decrease. If the temperature is increased, the thermal speed of the ions electrons increases, means the relaxation time will decrease. Since R is proportional to 1 upon tau, if relaxation time decreases, what does it mean? It means the resistance of the conductor will increase. The resistance of the conductor will increase because R is inverse proportional to tau. Decrease in reduction in relaxation time means increase in resistance of a conductor. So we see that the resistance of a conductor increases if we increase the temperature. Let R is the resistance of a conductor at temperature T degrees centigrade, and R naught is the resistance of a conductor at 0 degrees Celsius. Then we have a relation RT and R naught, they are related as RT is equal to R naught into 1 plus alpha T plus beta T square, where alpha and beta are the temperature coefficients of the resistance. If T is very small, if the temperature is very small, then T square becomes smaller and can be neglected. Then we get RT is equal to R naught 1 plus alpha T. So when we solve this, we get RT is equal to R naught plus R naught alpha T. This implies RT minus R naught is equal to R naught alpha T, or alpha is equal to RT minus R naught divided by R naught into T. Now see from this relation, for metals like silver, copper, etc., the value of alpha is positive because resistance of metals increases with rise in temperature. If we increase the temperature, the resistance of metals increases. For alloys like manganese, iruka, etc., the value of alpha is small compared to, it is positive, but it is small compared to metals. Means again the resistance increases, but it doesn't increase as much as it increases in metals. For insulators and semiconductors, the value of alpha is negative because the resistance of this it decreases. The resistance of insulators decreases with increase in temperature. Now let us discuss variation of resistivity with temperature. It will be same, almost same. What happens to the resistance of metals when we increase the temperature? The resistivity will be affected in the same way as the resistance of metals or semiconductors or insulators. Now again we know that P is equal to minus m upon E square into 1 by n tau. It means P is proportional to 1 upon n tau. This implies that the resistivity rho depends upon the number density n and relaxation time tau again of the free electrons. So as I told you, the number density n does not change with temperature. If we increase the temperature, number density will remain same. If we decrease the temperature, number density n will remain same. Since the thermal speed of the free electrons increases with increase in temperature, therefore the collisions of the free electrons with the ions of the conductors become more frequent. They take less time, so the relaxation time will decrease. It means the relaxation time, that is the time between two successive collisions, will decrease because velocity increases. The distance between two ions will be covered in very small time, lesser time. So the relaxation time will decrease. Since rho is proportional to 1 upon tau, which implies that the reduction in the relaxation time tau will result in increase in the resistivity of the conductor. The resistivity, suppose if rho T is the resistivity of a metal conductor at temperature T degrees Celsius, and rho naught is the resistivity of a conductor at temperature 0 degrees Celsius. Then they are related by a relation rho T is equal to rho naught 1 plus alpha R into T minus T naught, where alpha R is called the temperature coefficient of the resistivity. Now when we solve this, we get rho T is equal to rho naught plus alpha rho naught T minus T naught, and ultimately rho T minus rho naught is equal to alpha rho naught T minus T naught, and this implies alpha R is equal to rho T minus rho naught divided by rho naught into T minus T naught. That will be dP by rho naught into dt, where dP is equal to P rho T minus rho naught, change in resistivity, and dt is equal to T minus T naught, change in temperature. So alpha R is equal to dP by rho naught into 1 by dt. Thus alpha R, that is coefficient of resistivity, is defined as the fractional change in resistivity per unit change in temperature. d rho by rho naught means fractional change in resistivity per unit change in temperature. So for metals like silver, copper, etc., the value of alpha R is positive because the resistivity of metals increases linearly with increase in temperature. For insulators, the resistivity increases exponentially with decrease in temperature. For semiconductors, the value of alpha R is negative because resistivity of semiconductors decreases with increase in temperature. The variation of resistivity with temperature is shown in the below two graphs. For semiconductors, you can see it decreases as we increase the temperature, resistivity decreases, and for metals, we see that when we increase the temperature, the resistivity also increases. Now, let us discuss a graph between voltage and current, that is potential difference and current for ohmic conductors and also for non-ohmic conductors. Now, let me tell you what are ohmic conductors. We have already discussed Ohm's law. So, the conductors which obey Ohm's law are known as ohmic conductors. For example, metals, alloys, etc. For ohmic conductors, the relation V by R is equal to R. That is, Ohm's law is valid and R is constant. R is constant. What does it mean? It means that if the potential difference is increased, the current will adjust itself in such a way that we will get V by I will always be constant. So R is constant in ohmic conductors. The relation between V and I is linear. Means when we draw a graph between V and I, we will get a straight line. Or so the graph, the relation for which the graph is a straight line is called a linear relation. So relation between V and I is linear. The relation between V and I depends upon the absolute value of V only. What does it mean? For example, if we have 2 points, point A and point B, the potential at point A is minus 5 volt and the potential at point B is 5 volt. Then the potential difference between A and B is given by V is equal to, this is modulus VA minus VB. Modulus VA minus VB means absolute difference between two. So that will be 10 volt. In first case, if you give the value VA is equal to minus 5 volt, it will be minus 5, it will be minus 10. But the absolute value of minus 10 will become 10. Similarly, in the second case, it will be 5 minus 5. It will be 5 plus 5, it will be 10. So absolute value of 10 will be again 10 volt. So the potential difference between A and B becomes 10 volt. That is the relation between V and I will be same because it does not depend upon the sign of V in plus or minus. The relation between V and I is unique. What does it mean? Unique means I has only one value for a given value of V. I cannot have more than one value for a given value of V. Suppose if potential difference is 2 volt, then if the value of current is 1 ampere. So if then potential difference is again 2 volt, current cannot have another value. It can always have only one value, that is 1 ampere. So The relation between V and I is unique, means I will have only one value for a given value of V. Now when we draw a graph between V and I for ohmic conductors, we see that it is a straight line. So it is a linear. Now let us discuss what is the characteristics, VI characteristics for non-ohmic conductors. Now what are non-ohmic conductors? The conductors which do not obey Ohm's law are known as non-ohmic conductors. For example, vacuum tubes, semiconductor diodes, transistors, etc. The relation V by I is equal to R is valid, but R is not constant. The relation is valid. V by R is valid, but R is not constant. R can have different values. R can vary. The relation between V and I is non-linear. Means if we draw a graph between V and I, we will not get a straight line. We will get a curved line. So it is non-linear. The relation between V and I depends upon the sign of V. As I told you, in ohmic conductors, the relation V and I does not depend upon the sign of V, but here it depends upon sign. For example, if we have 2 pointers, at point A we have a potential of -5 volt, and at point B we have a potential of +5 volt. Then the potential difference between A and B is V1 is equal to 10 volt. It is 10 volt absolute potential difference between this A and B. You can use the above formula, and you will see that it will be -5 -5 -10, but absolute value of -10 is +10, or it can be 5 minus -5, means 5 plus 5, that will be 10. Absolute value of again +10 is also 10. So the potential difference V1 is 10 volt. Now if again we have 2 pointers A and B, if the potential at point A is 15 volt and the potential at point B is 5 volt. Now what is again the absolute potential difference? The absolute potential difference again is 10 volt. V2 is again 10 volt. See, 15 minus 5 it is 10, or 5 minus 15 it is -10, but absolute value of -10 and potential it is same, that is 10 volt. Though potential difference here between 2 pointers is the same, but now the sign in case first there is plus and minus, and in this case it is both potentials are positive. So the sign matters in this case. In VI characteristics, the relation V and I depends upon the sign. So the relation between V and I in case first while V1 is equal to 10 volt, and in the second case while V2 is equal to 10 volt, will not be same, because it depends upon the sign of V. In V1 sign is plus minus, and in V2 sign is plus plus. The relation between V and I is not unique. What does it mean? As I told you, if means that when it is not unique, I will have more than one value for a given value of V. Suppose if V is equal to 2 volts, I can be 1 ampere or 2 ampere or 3 ampere. It can have more than one value, so it is not unique. So, but when we draw a graph, you can see we get a curved line for non-ohmic resistors. Thank you. See you again.